So Saturday is a big day for you. Can you can you just talk about this honor, about being inducted into the Hall of Fame?
No, it's huge. I mean, I don't think any player, starts their career, has a time and just thinks, okay, this is, going straight into the Hall of Fame. It just doesn't happen. And to be, kind of, first ballot kind of stuff. I mean, that obviously is prideful, because then your peers and the guys who vote, respect what you did in your career, and for that I'm very honored.
With all the things that you've accomplished throughout your career, where does this kind of rank for you?
Well, I don't look at any kind of individual awards as anything that it's on that kind of pecking order. I think it's just, once again, it's just one of those things later, I think, that you look upon. I think I look at different performances now and different things that I did in a different light than I did when I was playing, and I think this will be one of those things later when you start getting invitations to go back to Hall of Fame stuff, and then you start going, oh, okay, that's pretty cool. So, and I think it's fun. I think the way it all kind of came about, it was a little bit rushed, I think, with the ceremony, but being able to do it in Seattle and have so many friends and family at the event will be something I think even more special.
You said that you didn't go into your soccer career with this as an ultimate goal, but once you started having so much success as you did over in Europe and with the U.S., is it something that you kind of did dream about at some point?
Well, I think every player, in the back of their mind, regardless of what sport they're in, kind of hopes, wow, yeah, that'd be pretty cool if I actually, was honored with, with being inducted into the Hall of Fame. It doesn't matter if you're a baseball player, football, skateboarder, skier, whatever it is, if it gets to that point and everybody around you in the sport, thinks that what you've done is merited for that honor, then I think it does. It kind of registers and you're humbled by it. And I think myself, I'm just proud that my peers and everybody felt that it was worthy.
So the idea of going in with Sigi?
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of surreal a little bit, and then obviously with Glenn Meyernick as well, obviously coaches that I had at different times. I mean, Sigi was, I played against Sigi in college, and he was one of my coaches' youth national team stuff at different times, and then obviously playing, coming back here, and it's interesting that it goes. Part of it, I think I said to Sigi at one stage, it was surprising that he hadn't already been in, so that was, but to have it work out this way where, both of us can kind of have the ceremony here in Seattle and be a part of it and have so many people involved, because there is, we had to have a conversation about, so we didn't double up the invites, on the same people. So, I mean, that was kind of cool as well. So, and then obviously with the Heavy Sounders influence, with Adrian involved and everybody is a part of it, so just going to make the night even that much more special. Considering that it was something that was thrown together. Really, I got the official confirmation of the event. I think 7 days ago. So, kind of trying to get everything all put together this week with my wife and U.S. Soccer and everyone. It's been a little bit daunting, but at the same time, one of those you're happy to do, flying the kids home from school. And I think my daughter had been at college for 4 weeks and has to fly back to kind of come to this ceremony. So it's once again, it's also that the amount of people that changed their plans to be a part of it. Obviously, there's those who couldn't as well, which is always difficult. But at the same time, it'll be for me, it'll be excellent to have as many smiling, familiar faces in the crowd for this event.
Has your decision to come back and play here changed your relationship with sort of the local soccer community at all? Does it add a little extra meaning to have this event in Seattle, having played here at the end of your career?
Oh, no question about it. I mean, having played 17 years in Europe, growing here, and I only played a couple national team games in Seattle, so the opportunity to come home and be a part of something that really became the Sounders, because I signed in 2008 before we 6 months before we kicked the ball, so I think nobody really kind of understood what this was going to become. I think we all had this dream that it was going to be a marquee club, and we wanted it to be so. But if you had told Adrian or myself or Joe or Drew or even Paul Allen that we're going to be averaging 40,000 in a game and open up stadiums and sell out Central, I think everybody would have thought you were crazy. And so I myself, to be a part of that from the first day and be in, have family involved. My family got to see a handful of games in Europe at different times, and it's not the coverage that you have now. When I started in Europe, I mean, I don't think it was difficult to see. They would come up to the Georgian Dragon at 5 a.m. to watch games. It just now, what you're able to see from the guys who were playing in Europe. So it meant a lot to me and talk about pro sports so often is timing. And to have that timing at that stage of my career, to be able to come back and be a part of the Sounders from day one, and it's it's an honor going into the Hall of Fame, having Seattle Sounders be my last club and my current employer, and that kind of, it's huge.
You mentioned the guest list. What kind of people are coming, and does anybody actually sort of introduce you in terms of like induct you?
Yes, Brian McBride. Brian McBride will introduce me. It's huge. I mean, I was able to introduce Brian last year into the Hall of Fame, and we were roommates on the national team for almost 10 years. He was obviously, what was amazing was Brian scored on me on his debut for Everton. He scored on me on his debut for Fulham. It was nice that he didn't score an own goal on me for my debut for Fulham, but it was. So Brian's been an extremely close friend. Our wives are close friends, and for Brian to be able to come out and do the honor is huge. And it was difficult though. There was a lot of other people that just couldn't make the trip. Particularly locally, it was a little easier to kind of move things around. But for people who needed to fly in and do things, it was tough. So I'm just so pleased that so many people were able to make it at such late notice.